Hey guys, what's going on? We're back. As you can see, the shelves behind me are still very empty. So, got another book haul here for you. This one, the pretty ones, the fancy ones, the shiny ones. I got them from various Goodwills and library book sales. Cost me anywhere from 50 cents to $2. So, let's begin. I got a very pretty cover here from Salman Rushdie. Never heard of it before, but look at that. I couldn't resist it. I've read Salman Rushdie before. He's a little too flowery for my taste, a little too purple. But look at that cover, man. Couldn't resist it. So it's mine now. Here's a nice cloth bound. It's got some gold leaf. You've got the textured title and author there. 75th anniversary edition of Their Eyes Were Watching God. Haven't read this one, but it's another, I don't know, I'm a sucker, man. I'm a sucker for that kind of thing. If you're a bibliophile watching, you probably can relate. John Steinbeck, East of Eden. I actually have bought this exact copy before, and I have sold it, so I figured I might as well buy another one. It's got some sticker damage in the back there. You know, I should have had a warning here. There is damage to this book. Graphic content. But it's got the tattered pages. It's got a nice feel to it. I like the Penguin as a publisher. They seem to always... That last one was Penguin as well. Well, not this one, that was Harper, but the Salman Rushdie was Penguin. Just a nice book. A lot of history. It's a classic. Just a lot of knowledge. Something about it, man. Lord of the Rings, Two Towers. This is the Mariner edition. I haven't seen it. I think I've seen this actually like in Barnes & Noble before, but I found it used. The gold leaf there. Something about the composition, the black and the red. I hope to find the other parts of the trilogy. It's just a beautiful book. Glossy finish. Well composed. Screwtape Letters, C.S. Lewis. This is just another cloth-bound one. A lot of history to it. It's got the tattered edge as well. Somehow I got two copies separated from one another, not at the same time. Not that, you know, these books sell or anything, and honestly, not that I particularly care to read this one. That's like an addiction or something, but whatever. We're going to go with it. Beautiful book. Actually, there was a guy at Goodwill the other day. He approached me asking me, you know, what kind of books I read. And he says, you know the rule, right? And I'm like, no. And he goes, if you smile at it and it smiles back, then you have to buy it. Which is just justification for becoming a hoarder. I know, but like, I understand. I understand what he means. Finding true happiness. You know I'm a sucker for birds, so that's probably why I find connection with this book. And who doesn't want to find true happiness? So, a little bird there on barbed wire. Cloth bound. Just a nice, solid feeling book. Beautiful. Stick with the bird theme. Maya Angelou, I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings. I like the composition on this one as well, and the birds here have this glossy finish. Kind of looks like a science fiction novel. Chemical compounds or something like that. I should read this book. I know I should. I'm going to put it on my TBR list. I have a feeling that it will sit there for a while. Given to B and someone for a 2014 graduation. I hope to read this in your honor, but I doubt I will. It's just a nice cover. 1,000 Beginnings and Endings. I think it's a lot of old myths and legends, but you know, it was just the cover that pulled me in. There's so much going on there. It's a beautiful book. Just a beautiful book. That's why we're here. Another beautiful book, A House of Ghosts. I'm a sucker for the shiny gold leaf there. Love it. Another beautiful cover. These all have the same kind of theme. This is called A Saga of the Volsungs. Never heard of it. It's a Penguin classic, apparently, although not in the style I generally collect. But just a beautiful book. Give you some ASMR there. Yeah. Love the colors on that one. Fairy tale book. This one is not the typical bibliophile appeal. Kind of looks like a textbook. It's glossy, as you can tell. It's thick. The type is small. It's just got a lot of, they just jam-packed this thing with fairy tales, which I appreciate. It's got some illustrations. It was just shiny and new. I don't know. Can't resist it, man. Series of Unfortunate Events. I have been trying to recollect these, specifically like the hardcover ones, and this was the last one I needed, so hooray. I guess this was kind of like hooking young people on being bibliophiles, because they had this nice feel to them with the spines, with this, I'm not sure what that's called, the tattered edge. Just this little nicely contained hardcover book, you know, asking you to write your name in it. This probably has a lot to do with why I am the way I am. Not complaining. A Victorian Flower Dictionary. My wife loved this one. She flipped through it. It's got a lot of cool, simple flower illustrations. Kind of like the ones you rip out of the book and have in some kind of like collage frame. I think that would be neat. Very simple. I like that. We got The Catcher in the Rye hardcover. And a lot of opinions on this one. I really like the book. You only ever see this book in like the schoolyard tiny pocket paperback. So I think it's actually kind of rare in this hardcover edition. And it's in great condition. Love the book. Good memories. Alright, we got 3 of these illustrated classics. We got Hans Christian Andersen fairy tales. We got the Swiss Family Robinson. And we got Kidnapped, which I had not heard of before. But they're funky. Look at this, that color on the pages. Shiny gold. Can't go wrong. Just nice books. And I'm a sucker for collections as well. And just to see, you know, these on the shelves with their uniform design. Especially 3 of them. 3 is the golden number. 3 is a set. 3 is a collection. I'm going to have a hard time selling these. I probably won't. I should. I don't know. I should. I might. A little book on penguins. I just thought it was cute. My wife loves penguins, so. And very similar to that flower book, because they have these very simple, not too stylized illustrations on penguins. Just a cute little book that you have handy and you just flip through. Nice, makes you feel good. That's what matters, right? That's what we're here for. That's why we're here. Ballet Stories. Very fancy book here. And it's got that kind of give to the cover that indicates it's like a children's book. But it's like a fancy children's book. Cinderella is apparently a ballet story. Swan Lake, okay, I'll give you that one. You know, I've never read Swan Lake. I wonder what it's about. Probably something like tragic. Ooh. It smells like the beach. How does a book smell like the beach? I thought that there was a stain up top here, like an unpleasant stain, but that's just the design. That's like the smoky clouds. Beautiful book. The Boy, the Mole, the Fox, and the Horse. I haven't read it. I actually have one on my TBR list right now, but I saw this. It just looks beautiful. I read The Alchemist recently. I'm hoping it gives me a feel like that. Just this inspiring story full of love and hope and meaning. But we'll see. I don't want to expect too much. Nature Anatomy. I don't really know much about this, but it was beautiful. I imagine there's pictures of various natural things in here, and I'm right. I'm going to flip through this one later. I'll actually put it over here so I remember. Got some weird YA stuff here. Look at this. Have you ever seen a book like this? This like floored me. Why I've never had the technology to do this before, but I'm also thinking this probably wouldn't shelve nicely. There's probably some reasons why you wouldn't do it, but it's certainly a novelty. Oh, it's like a graphic novel and a novel in one. Interesting. We've got a Percy Jackson, The Lightning Thief. I don't know what kind of edition this is. There's a billion of these out there, but I thought this was a nice one. It's got some raised lettering. I really like the spine. I imagine if you collect them all, it makes a nice little mosaic. Beautiful book. Same with this. I know these are a dime a dozen, but the spine makes you want to collect them all and have the nice continued image. I'm a sucker for that as well. This was shiny, so shiny, very shiny. Book journals, which I've never really kept. I mean, a long time ago I kept them, but now I guess I'm doing it in video format, so I've altered the way that I do it. But who doesn't love a book journal? You know, you got this little tab here. You know, luckily there's no writing in this one. And I got two of them. Here's some like general books. The Last Bookshop in London, or The Library of the Dead. Kind of books that are very targeted at readers, at bibliophiles, which is fair. You know your audience is readers. Everyone that reads a book is a reader. So if you have library in the title or bookshop, it's going to appeal to people. Now, here we go, some gems. Look at this, baby. The Count of Monte Cristo. Love this book. I listened to it like just a year ago, and like already I have nostalgia for it. And this is an old Barnes & Noble leather-bound edition. Beautiful condition. It's got the gold flakes, gold pages. I don't think there's any. This brings me happiness. This brings me joy. I want to start collecting these because I have this one and I have this big boy. Oh, which is maybe the biggest book I've ever seen. And they're beautiful, and they're beautiful on a shelf. I can't, like, that spine, man. This spine deserves some kind of Lifetime Achievement Award for holding up. I can't imagine. And it's just one continuous piece. We got Oliver Twist, A Tale of Two Cities, David Copperfield, A Christmas Carol, and Great Expectations, all in this one book. Look at this monster, man. Holy moly. This would be your entire year's reading in one book. In one book. It's a little dusty, but, you know, considering the fact that it is 1,500 pages, slightly warped, but it's really held up. A little dusty. You can fix that. But yeah, I want to keep all these that I have, but I really have to kind of watch myself because I am so inclined to hoard and collect that it needs to be a constant struggle, but I need to know when to allow myself to. It's a delicate yin and yang. The Hobbit. Any edition of The Hobbit, especially like this one, I'm probably going to collect. It's got this nice glossy image of Smaug on the cover with this green background. It's really beautiful. Actually, I got this a while ago for my wedding. I had some relatives over and they went to Goodwill to find some books to tear up, to put in a centerpiece, because we were doing like a book themed centerpiece, and they came back with this one. And I said, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold on a second. You're not tearing that baby up. And they didn't. They saw that they got actually a good book, and if you're just trying to get books, then there's so much jank out there. Just grab some Tattered Patterson or Nora Roberts or something, no offense. But, you know, something a little less beautiful, because this is beautiful. You should not tear this book up. Adventurer's Guide to the Great Outdoors. Reminds me of like a Boy Scout manual. It's got this like raised, embossed, is that the word? Embossed. And you know, it's got some old illustrations in here that remind you kind of a Boy Scout manual. Make tools. Bone tools. Because bones will be very prevalent in the wild. Just makes me feel good. We got a plant book that I found, and it's definitely new. This is probably one of the few things I can advertise as brand new. I like looking at pictures of people's houses just filled with plants. Because my wife has a lot of plants, so our house is similar to that. It's a good feel. A good vibe, if you will, of just being surrounded by plants. Love that. And the most nostalgia-filled book, the book closest to my heart, The favorite book out of all of these by a long shot, Dinotopia. If you read Dinotopia growing up, you'll join me in this beautiful trip down memory lane. Otherwise, you've just found one of the book world's greatest treasures. It's pretty much fancy Flintstones. It's humans and dinosaurs cohabitating in this world illustrated by James Gurney. And he's got all of these beautiful, like, biological illustrations, full page illustrations. I ate this up as a kid, so did my brothers. I daydream about reading it to my own kids. I've practiced doing it. So it's pretty intense. I mean, look at this. Look at this. It's beautiful. God. So obviously, I mean, I do have multiple copies of this now, but can I bring myself to sell a copy? Yes, of course. I'd like other people to be able to experience it as well, but this is a book. If I see it in a bookstore, regardless of the price, I'm going to buy it, even though I have it, which makes no sense. But it's okay not to make sense sometimes. It's okay not to be rational sometimes. This book does that for me, which is great. Something I need. So that's what I got. I'm almost done with another 3 books to talk about. I think I'm on pace with the reading challenge, maybe slightly behind. Hope you guys are liking these videos. Feel free to comment about anything really. I could take criticism as long as it's not soul crushing. And tell me what you feel about these books. What book gives you that Dinotopia feel? Let me know. Alright guys, see you next time.